Day 2 of the main event is in full swing. And as seats open and tables empty, thoughts emerge of what could lie ahead.
Maybe this is my year to go deep.
Making it deep in the main event is nothing new to Greg Raymer and Mike Matusow. Will 2009 bring more success?
I know what I'm doing in the main event.
Hey, that's right. Chris Ferguson is hoping a good main event showing will put an end to a disappointing World Series.
Hopefully we'll make up for it in the next few days.
While Jason Alexander hopes to keep up the momentum and see Day 3 for the first time.
A little bit of luck, and it can go further.
A deep run in the main event is every poker player's dream.
Yes! Yes!
But it can't be done without first getting through Day 2. Welcome once again to the Rio and the 2009 World Series of Poker presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. I'm Lon McCarran along with Norman Chad, and we are set to rejoin the action here on Day 2 of the main event, where several pros, past champions, and hopefuls are ready to continue their quest for the title.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
And the interesting table pairings continue as well. Greg Mueller is still with Mike Matusow.
I've had one playable hand all day.
At table 2, we once again find 2000 main event champ Chris Jesus Ferguson, who's with recent bracelet winner Roland DeWolf. And over at our featured table, we still have another dynamic duo, 2004 champ Greg Raymer, seated next to actor and aspiring poker player Jason Alexander.
It's an odd couple, the world champ and the world's chump. Costanza, that is.
So now if you could go back in time and star in any movie you ever wanted, what would be one of you? What comes to mind when I ask you that question?
Network.
Network?
Good movie.
One of my favorite things.
I would have thought you'd have picked more of a comedy.
No.
So you're looking more to be that nasty guy from Pretty Woman?
Yeah.
I forget the name of your character in that one.
Stucky. You know, the funny thing about that movie is they shot a different movie than it was on the page. The scene where I attack her, we did a version where she attacks me. Beats the crap out of me. So, who knew?
We did a version of the 2006 main event where Jamie Gold doesn't win.
Action begins here on Jacqueline Scott, a real estate broker in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky Pocket Cam, ace 10 of spades.
She's a former registered nurse.
Raise 50. The lady's coming after me.
Jason in the big blind. Action now on Albert Manolan, and he's got a tray we know of.
My Russian sports writer friend, he borrowed one of my smoking jackets.
He makes the call. Raymer in the small blind now. Ace-Queen offsuit.
If they offered me $1 million to endorse Ace-Queen, I would turn it down.
I hope I got something.
He makes the call. Now in the big blind, Jason Alexander. Queen tray of clubs.
That is not something. That is nothing. Well, suited nothing.
Now he'll come along at a discount.
Jason couldn't resist getting 5.5 to 1 on a call.
The flop is Queen 5, Queen trip queens for both Alexander and Raymer. Greg has the top kicker, though.
See, Jason, what happens when you play rags? You get into trouble.
Greg checked. Jason, who finished day 1 with almost 90,000 chips, bets 2,500.
Sometimes when you protect or defend your blind because the price is right, it costs you dearly.
Jacqueline Scott folded, as did Albert Manolan. Raymer needs 2,500 to call, and it's just a call from Greg.
By the way, with suited cards, you will flop a flush draw 11% of the time, Jason, and even then you'll only make the flush 35% of the time.
Turn card 10 of clubs. It's a swing and a miss for Jason. Raymer with the best hand checks again.
Yeah, he'll sit on it. Did I mention how much I now love Ace-Queen?
Jason bets 6,000.
By the way, Raymer has a poker posture problem. The way he sits, if Jason Alexander were on the other side of him, he wouldn't be able to see him.
Another smooth call from Greg. River card 4 of spades does not help Jason Alexander. Greg Raymer with the check mark.
In Pretty Woman, I think Jason Alexander looked just like this before Richard Gere fired him.
Raymer checks a third time. He's reeling Jason in. Jason's going to bet 12,000.
I hope you don't have those pocket fives because I call.
What's your queen?
Queen tray for Jason.
Oh, you.
Are you allowed to hit the other guy after you lose? Is that wrong?
I thought you had the pocket fives.
I don't have the pocket fives. How can you have a queen when I have a queen? What kind of bull pucky is that?
2 big stacks bumping heads. A nod goes to the former world champ. Jason Alexander now down to 75,000 chips. Greg Raymer up to 127,000 in his quest for a second world championship. Norman, the main event has become many things to many people, and in recent years, it has become a showcase for amateurs. But as day 2 rolls along, it's nice to see how many big names are rolling right along with it.
Indeed, Ferguson, Matusow, and Seidel still loom, as does patent attorney turned poker pro Greg Raymer. The fossil man with the funny glasses continues to impress. He won it all in 2004, finished 25th in 05, and nearly took down the 40K championship earlier this year. If he makes another deep run here, he won't need that second bracelet to cement his legacy.
Greg would love to end this World Series where it started, at a final table.
All right, here it is. You and me right here in November.
It's a date.
I don't think Jason was fully committed to that knuckle bump.
Let's go to the outer tables to find another past champion, Barry Johnston, also seated with an actor, Brad Garrett, who is currently not seated.
All right. After he folds, can we sit down? You cannot sit down.
Barry Johnson says, I will not stand up.
But Brad's trying to change the rhythm at this table. He has everyone else standing up.
I think I stay over here, sir.
Brad trying to get to day 3 for the first time.
Yeah, man, what a bad idea. Oh, what's a bet?
Whatever you want it to be.
You know, this isn't funny. Don't tell me you can't. I'll get your nurse.
I think Barry was telling a joke there.
Oh, my gosh. Not a good day to wear a thong. Who's with me? Not a thong day. Maybe going down, but we're going to go down with a chuckle, everybody. Then we're going to meet in the trailer. We're going to meet in Todd Brunson's trailer. We're going to hunt the enemy after midnight. We're going to put our ear to the track and wait for the enemy.
Barry Johnston thinking, what have I done to deserve this?
Elsewhere, another big talker, Mike the Mouth Matusow, who's seated at the same table as Greg Mueller. Matusow has put out a big raise pre-flop. The action folded over to Corey Burbick in the big blind. He gets out of the way. Matusow will take the pot.
Matusow is a professor at Deep Stacks University. I believe they are the Raging Cajuns.
Come after me. That's what they all do. When they double me up, and I go to the final table.
The Mouth says he and Scotty Wynn are the 2 best short stack tournament players in the world.
I've had so much practice in that, Norman. I'm still not good at it, though. Let's go to table 2. We find Chris Jesus Ferguson, as well as Roland DeWolf, who's picked up a little something from a fan on the rail.
Boy, now Roland's stolen the thunder from Phil Hellmuth's main event entrance next year.
I look like an idiot from Northern Europe.
Chris is thinking, no, you just look like an idiot.
You want to swap, Chris? Want to try?
I think I'm okay. No, I think I can do without it.
Jesus with a smart play there. Roland does love having a good time at the table.
Action on European Ime Dongstra. The warehouse worker from the Netherlands has ace-king.
Right.
Dongstra calls himself a poker rookie. I think he's a ringer.
He does raise to 1,500. That's a standard raise of 3 times the big blind. Chris Ferguson, 10-4 into the muck.
Can't see Chris as a Viking.
Action folds around to Roland DeWolf, who won his first bracelet this year at the World Series. Roland with ace-queen offsuit and the small blind.
Roland now has a bracelet, a European Poker Tour title, and a WPT title.
And his regular hat back. He re-raises to 7,000. Back to Dongstra now. He shoves, and DeWolf calls immediately. Dongstra at risk, but ahead.
DeWolf, another man tragically fooled by ace-queen.
And this is for most of Roland's chips, so he's in serious trouble.
But Roland seems untroubled at the moment.
His ace-queen trying to overcome the ace-king. Here's the flop. Jack 4 ace. Dongstra's kicker keeping him in the lead.
You could just call and see a flop and put it in.
Even if Roland had just called pre-flop, all the chips would have been in now.
Turn card 5 of clubs. 1 card from doubling up is Dongstra.
Yeah, Dongstra needs to dodge a queen to double up.
And the river card is an 8. And that'll be good for the ace-king. It doubles up.
The poker veteran is somewhat displeased. The poker rookie is pleased.
So a nice win for the amateur. The action started friendly enough at this table for DeWolf, but as the dust settles, he's laughing no more.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Welcome back to the Rio. Day 2 continuing here at the main event of the 40th Annual World Series of Poker. The featured table, action starts on Greg Raymer. Raymer looks down at pocket jacks.
Greg is very active in efforts to get online poker licensed and regulated within the U.S.
He raises to 1,600 pocket trays for Jason Alexander.
Jason is very active in efforts to give Greg Raymer more chips at this featured table.
Jason calls.
There we go.
Here we go.
I can't look at you with those cockamamie things, huh?
Then do us all a favor, Jason, and rip them off of him.
Over to the 26-year-old World Series rookie, a financial advisor from White Plains, New York, Dennis Baltz with Pocket Kings.
45?
And he's going to re-raise it to 4,500.
When there are 3 pocket pairs, Lon, the highest pair has the best chance of winning.
Thank you, Mr. Genius.
Sure.
Back to Raymer now, and Raymer's going to re-pop it to 20,000 with his jacks.
Well, Jason, I believe we'll get the message here.
Yep, he does indeed. He lays it down. Now back to Baltz with a better hand, the Kings.
We're getting a little Hollywood from Dennis Baltz here. He appears to be grimacing with his Pocket Kings.
He needs just over 15,000 a call.
Well, if he re-raises now after this act, I think Raymer will know he's well behind.
They'd have to. Wow, the King's going to the muck.
I'm sorry, he folded?
He folded.
What, he only plays pocket quads?
Raymer will take the pot.
He folded.
Since you couldn't call, it had to be a good fold. Because you're not throwing away aces or kings, right?
I did throw away kings, and I hope it's not on TV because my friends back home will be roasting me for dinner.
Baltz folded under the glare of those glasses, which have always been more than a fashion statement for the Falsa Man, as we learn in this Straight from the Pros, brought to you by PokerStars.net. In the 2004 main event, Raymer was in a hand with Matt Hilger and keenly watched for tells behind those glasses as he calculated a bluff with Queen Deuce.
I hadn't played a hand for a pretty good while, so I just thought, you know, this is a good spot to steal the blinds, steal the antes. I made it 11,000 to go. Matt called with Jack 9 of clubs. When I raise pre-flop and only one person calls me, then I'm going to bet the flop the vast majority of the time. But I bet 15,000. Matt called and didn't seem entirely pleased with the situation.
Now the turn card.
Now, I didn't know what the turn card was, but I could see on his face that he hated that card. And he checks, and I'm like, oh, it's another spade. Then it's a king. Here's definitely a card that might have hit me. So I decided, I don't think he can call. And he thought it through for a while and laid his hand down.
Raymer won the hand with great aggressive play.
If Matt had successfully hidden that tell, then he probably wins the hand.
Raymer's aggressive style paid off as he won the big one in 04.
With that win, Greg joined the family of main event champions. The patriarch of that family would have to be Doyle Brunson, whose main event record is stunning. 2 titles, 5 final tables, 7 cashes, and 37 main events. Out into the field, and his daughter, the only Brunson left standing, Pam, in a hand right now against Tom Schneider. Pam bet 8,000 after the turn.
Schneider, the 2007 Player of the Year.
He bets enough to put Pam Brunson all in. Pam makes the call. She's at risk. Schneider turns over a diamond flush draw. Pam leads with a pair of jacks.
Black.
River card, yeah, it is black. And it's another jack. Trip's good enough for a double up.
Pam cashed in the 07 main event. And frankly, I think she's the real Texas Dolly.
Pam up to 55,000 to another member of our poker family, Joe Seabach. He's got a chance to knock out Otto Richard. Seabach in good shape pre-flop with King Queen against Richard's Queen Jack.
What about my luck?
You should get to lick him, I think they're here because of you.
I probably
All right,
will.
now the flop.
I probably will.
A pair of jacks to Richard, up and down straight draw for Joe.
Richard studies French lit at La Sorbonne. I believe they are the Raging Cajuns.
Richard's still best after the turn. River card is a 6, and Otto Richard will win the handed double up through Joe Seabach.
I'm sure Joe's dad, Barry Greenstein, might tell Joe how he misplayed that hand.
Joe still with 90,000. Over to Seabach's friend and Poker Road radio show co-host Gavin Smith in a hand with Jonathan Tamayo after the river.
2 poker pros here. Smith, the old man, though, at 40. Tamayo just 23.
Gavin bets 3,700 is called. Gavin shows 9s. Tamayo shows 10s to take the pot.
When Gavin was 23, he used to win pots like that.
Tamayo already with 7 World Series cashes to his credit takes the pot. Gavin Smith now down to just over 12,000 chips.
And uncharacteristically silent.
Back to our featured table and the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand. We conceal one player's whole card so you at home can play along. Action folded over to Greg Raymer. And Greg has the wild card hand.
Oh, I'm going to nail it.
Your record would indicate otherwise, but we'll see. A raise to 1,600 from Greg.
He's in early position, so it should be a big hand. Pocket jacks or maybe ace-queen suited.
Pocket 9s for Jason Alexander and a re-raise to 3,500.
Raymer knows I hate ace-queen, so he's going to play it. Players try to narrow an opponent's holding to a range of hands based on position, size of the bet, stack size, table image, and previous betting patterns. Me, I just guess.
Raymer called. The flop is ace, queen, 6, 2 spades.
If Fossil Man's got jacks, he doesn't like that flop. If it's ace, queen, he loves it.
He checks.
Well, if Raymer had jacks, he might have bet there to see where he stood.
6,000.
Jason bet 6,000.
With ace, queen, I think Raymer was more likely to check to disguise his big hand. So I'm going to put him on ace, queen now.
Raymer makes the call.
Now, this is called stringing the non-leading man actor along.
Turn card is a 5.
Yeah, if you're Jason, Raymer's check call on the flop would worry you. You got to think your nines are second best.
Raymer checks again. Now Jason, who's seen this before, he checks.
And Jason wisely slowing down. That check call on the flop definitely worried him.
All right, river card now is a deuce of hearts.
That card can't help anybody anywhere in this casino. I'm convinced Raymer now has the best hand.
Raymer now reaching for chips. That's 7,000.
If Raymer's got aces up, that's a great value bet. Jason's getting 4-1 on a call here, and he might think it's a value bet bluff.
Oh, Greg, you're just taking me down.
Jason's going to call.
Go ahead.
Ace king.
I said ace queen. Half right's good for me. Better than half wrong.
Can't lose to a nicer man.
Well, that's kind of you to say. I feel the same way. Like I said before, if I have to give this fossil away, I hope it's to you.
It doesn't look like we now.
Greg got sneaky on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand and adds more of Alexander's chips to his stack. Jason hoping day 3 isn't slipping away.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky, 40th Annual Memories.
Last year's run was amazing. I mean, I had this amazing persona of the power of positive thinking.
You don't understand. I'm destiny.
And I really believed in my heart that there was no way I was going to lose a hand.
It's a 6.
Guys, I'm going to tell you, I know it's coming. You don't understand.
So it was shocking I didn't make the final table.
River's a king, and that will be the end of Mike Matusow.
My heart's being ripped from the shreds and from the inside out. It was pretty tough.
Mike capped a great 2008 World Series with a deep main event run. 2009 has been disappointing. He's hoping this main event will turn his luck around. Right now he's watching Greg Mueller collect a pot off Lauren Finkelstein.
You may recall Justin Bonomo's Panorama Towers prop bet. Justin bet that someone from that condo complex would win a bracelet this year, and Mueller won the bet for him.
Now I know why you want 2 bracelets and I'm on the rail here, by the way.
Matusow struggling mightily in 09, just 1 cash at this World Series.
Yeah, Norman, we've said that about a number of pros. At another table sits Dewey Tomko trying to get something going today. He's got about 50,000 chips. He puts out a bet. His opponent lays it down, and Dewey takes the pot.
Dewey inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame in 2008, 3-time bracelet winner and twice runner-up in the main event in 1982 to Jack Strauss and in 2001 to Carlos Mortensen. And if you ever see him on a golf course, walk the other way before he takes your money.
To another main event runner-up, Eric Seidel. He's all in going to the river against Rainer Mayer. Seidel with pocket aces and in the lead. Mayer with a pair of queens and a flush draw.
I got run around 3
River
times.
card is 10 of hearts, and the aces will do the trick. Seidel wins, and he's up to 58,000.
Seidel's career World Series numbers are sublime. 56 cashes, 31 final tables, 8 bracelets, 4 of them in the 1990s, and 4 bracelets this decade.
He is one of the greats. Back to table 2, where Roland DeWolf has won a few chips back since being crippled. He's in a hand right now with Peter Gellenchair from Hungary. DeWolf with queen 6 of clubs. Gellenchair pocket aces going to the flop. The flop is king ace tray. Gellenchair gets another ace.
Roland may want his Viking headgear back for this hand.
The 21-year-old Gellenchair checks. DeWolf wants to get frisky, bets 2,000.
Roland had raised pre-flop and now makes a continuation donation to Peter Gellenchair.
Gellenchair in his first World Series of Poker makes a call there. He played 30 events with 2 cashes this year. Turn card now is another tray. Gellenchair gets the check mark with a full boat.
Ace is full.
Again, he checks it.
That's the 3rd straight betting round. Gellenchair is sat on his monster.
Roland checks, drawing dead. It's a 6 of spades on the river. DeWolf paired his 6.
Oh, Gellenchair is going to wait no longer.
55-50 is the bet.
Not the time here for Roland to get cute. If he raises all in, I hope he gets a decent Viking funeral.
Roland doesn't have many more chips than that, and the London Pro makes the good laydown. So Roland now trying to figure a way to turn his main event around. Gellenchair, on the other hand, almost got all of the bracelet winner's chips, but he slipped away on the river.
If I win the main event, will you shave your hair?
Only Perry Friedman. Perry Friedman wins the main event. He can do anything he wants to my hair.
You're really gambling there. It'd be good for you too, though. You look better.
Ferguson without hair? That's like Angelina Jolie without a baby in her arms.
Roland's chip stack may be down, but not his knack for needling. Let's go back to the featured table. Greg Raymer has been holding over Jason Alexander as of late. Right now, action is on Jamie Dowick, 34 years old, from Canada. Jamie looks down at ace-10 offsuit.
Dowick just bought the Toronto Rock of the National Lacrosse League. He could have bought a Jaguar or a sailboat, but he wanted an indoor professional lacrosse team.
His kids play indoor lacrosse. Dowick with a raise to 2,000. Action over to Greg Raymer, ace-8 of hearts in the small blind.
Raymer could have purchased the entire Arena Football League after he won the main event in 2004, but instead I think he just bought a bigger house.
Wise decision. He calls for 1,700. Dowick and Raymer heads up to the flop. The flop is 5-6-4. Dowick with a 2-1 advantage, holding the bigger ace. Greg picks up a gut shot straight draw.
Who buys a lacrosse team? Can't you just watch them on TV for free?
Greg checks.
ESPN shows lacrosse.
Dowick checks back. Turn card now. 10 of hearts. Dowick with a pair of 10s. Raymer adds a heart flush draw.
I like lacrosse line, but that turn card is more interesting than any goal I've ever seen.
Raymer checked. Dowick now bets 5,100.
Raymer not getting the right price to chase his straight and flush draws, unless you consider implied odds.
Man wearing the 04 World Championship bracelet will come along.
Raymer likes the implied odds, which is the ratio of what you should win to the cost of the current bet.
All right, now the river card, and Raymer hits his 8 high straight. The implied odds paid off.
If Raymer was considering implied odds, he should bet something here if he believes Dowick will call.
He is reaching. Raymer bets 12,000.
Dowick with top pair, top kicker, but if I were him, I would trade my top scorer on the Toronto Rock before I'd call this bet.
All right, Greg, I can't let you bluff me out. I call.
Straight.
And that's good enough to win a pot of almost 40,000.
Good hand.
I've got to say, I just think you make your hand more often when you're a world champion.
Terrible river.
I can't agree, but we do have very differing perspectives.
Yep, Dowick's from behind a dwindling chip stack while Raymer enjoying the proceedings from the catbird seat. Inside the Rio, there's the main event bracelet that will be awarded on November 10th, along with $8.5 million.
Fossil Man's already got a main event bracelet at $5 million. Let somebody else win it, Greg.
Action folds around to Jamie Dowick with pocket 7s.
Dowick's been playing poker for 10 years. He's also been married for 10 years. Coincidence? I think not.
He limps in for 600. Folded over to the man with a world championship bracelet, Greg Raymer, ace-7 of hearts.
Raymer won the last main event that was held entirely at Binion's in 2004.
He limps in for 600.
We are now at the Rio lawn, in case you haven't noticed.
Oh, thank you. Jason Alexander, 10-4 of hearts. In the small blind, he calls.
He gets in pretty cheap.
Jean Desmont.
I don't know this man.
He's 33-year-old IT consultant from Belgium and the big blind with 6-deuce. Checks his option.
Consult this.
4, ace, king. Raymer catches an ace to lead. Jason Alexander paired up on his 4. He checks. Desmont missed the flop, and he checks.
I don't know who he is.
Dowick, no improvement on his pocket 7s. Checks, and Raymer checks the best hand. Turn card is another 4. Bingo for Alexander. He hits trips.
Jason with trips courtesy of Fossil Man. If Raymer bets the flop, I'm not sure Jason calls 21.
Jason will bet here, though, about 2/3 of the pot, 2,100.
In fact, if Raymer had raised pre-flop with his suited ace from the button, Jason would have been gone even earlier.
Desmont folded. Dowick gets out of the way. Raymer with top pair will commit the chips.
Just a couple of guys sitting in the park waiting for an icy.
A deuce on the river. Jason Alexander earns the check mark. As you 45. Know, the deuce helps no one on the river. 4,500 from Jason.
Just the way Jason said 45, it feels like he has a hand.
Well, I want to make a big laydown for Jason Alexander. That is the
Put your
question.
money in. Put it in.
I need to like pretend I'm holding the skull.
You owe me. Put your money in.
Jason shouldn't talk. Loose lips sink chips.
I'm gonna look like a genius or an idiot on TV here. Whether I fold or call.
I made a career out of that.
Whether I fold or call. It's like whichever one is right and whichever one is wrong, I'm a genius or an idiot, you know? That's right. Serenity now!
That's the pool I live in, baby. I swim in that water every day.
I'm at the bottom of that pool.
Give me some other good shtick from Seinfeld I can yell out right now.
George is getting angry.
I'm going to make either a really good or a really bad fold.
That was a good fold.
Oh, you had me, buddy.
Don't show your cards, George. It makes Newman more comfortable in his read.
I'm a genius. I'm not an idiot.
You are a genius. You retain the crown.
I got the idiot crown locked up, Lon.
So Jason gets a few chips back from Raymer. Over to table 2 in the sad saga of Roland DeWolf. He's all in with ace tray of clubs. He's been called by Daniel Walker from Trinidad, who has ace king. Roland, again, looking for help.
Roland's been a bit quiet of late. He doesn't have any chirping chips.
Here's the flop, and he gets a tray, so he's in the lead with a pair of trays.
Well, you see, Roland's drinking water because if he wins this hand, he can entertain us again.
All right, turn card now is a 4. Roland's still ahead.
Faded one time.
Walker's still looking to knock out DeWolf with a king or any heart.
River card is a 6 of spades. DeWolf wins the hand. He's hanging in there. Looks a little embarrassed about winning that hand with a pair of trays.
Roland used to be a writer, but writers don't make money. He's doing pretty well here in poker.
13,000 chips, a lot of work to do. He might be talking about that hand for a while. He's starting to make his mark on the poker world, but still best known for his biting table chatter.
I definitely am quite conversational at the poker table.
What game are we playing? You know what you should do next year? Play better. You never won one?
Roland DeWolf giving Lindgren a hard time.
I never will try and send an opponent on tilt or something like that.
David, I just didn't want to see a hobgoblin on the floor.
It's just my personality in general, just to find funny stuff to say about people.
2 elves, it comes hobgoblin, hobgoblin. So sick.
Poker can be a lot of time of patience, so sometimes you need things to not be so focused on just waiting for cards. I was on a list of people who had won a lot of things but hadn't won a bracelet, and it was definitely not a nice list to be on. But this year, I won the Pot Limit Omaha high-low split 8 or better event. A lot of the best players in the world were playing, but I managed to get there. It was so great to win a bracelet. That's one non-Hold'em bracelet more than Phil Hellmuth.
Roland reminds me of a guy I play poker with in L.A., Laker Steve. The more he talks, the more he wins. If you can shut him up, you can shut him down.
Back out in the field, we find another single bracelet winner, Elia Lesra, currently watching former pro boxer Keely Madrid in his familiar stance. Once again going up against Farzad Rouhani. Madrid moved all in on the river. Clock has been called on Rouhani. He has less than a minute to make his decision.
Rouhani won a bracelet in 2008 and making a decision here for all his chips. Keely definitely has a style that will put you on tilt, just the way he holds his hand out over the table, ready to muck his cards the moment you fold.
6.
Clock ticking down on Rouhani.
3, 2, 1. It's a dead hand.
He's going to fold. He shows a set of trades.
I have a nut.
Keely, yeah, he does have it. He turned the nut flush.
Keely with nut flush and Rouhani with a smart laydown.
Keely knows how to use the whole ring. He's up to 50,000 chips. At another table, Mike Matasso is all in pre-flop. Been called by Corey Burbick. Matasso with king, queen, Burbick pocket kings. The flop now 6, 4, 8. No help to Matasso.
I don't think the power of positive thinking is going to overcome 99-1 odds here. Matasso's miserable 2009 World Series about to come to an end.
Turn card, and it is coming to an end. Burbick wins the hand. Mike drawing dead.
A quiet main event for the mouth is over.
You guys. Take care.
So there will be no deep run again for Mike Matasso this year as he heads to the exit. His main event and World Series are over.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Back to the Rio in the 2009 main event.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
What might your name be?
AJ.
AJ? You know, my initials are J.A.
That reminds me of that Seinfeld episode in which George would try to spell people's last names correctly when he met them.
Action is on Alex Jalali. Ooh, his initials are AJ also. A dermatologist living in Germany, 10-8 of diamonds.
I've never met a dermatologist with the initials AJ who plays poker.
A raise to 2,000. Action folds around to Greg Raymer.
Hello, Raymer.
Raymer with an ace. Ace-queen offsuit.
You know, if you were dealt ace-queen every hand for the rest of your life, I believe you'll go broke within a week.
He calls for 2,000. King-jack from the small blind. Jason Alexander calls.
Nothing good ever comes out of playing king-jack off. A pimple has more upside to it.
Big blind folds, so 3 players will see this flop.
Actually, the dermatologist could attest to the drawbacks of a pimple.
Good idea. The flop is 10, Jack 6, all hearts. Alexander with a pair of jacks. Jalali hits a pair of 10s. Raymer with a gut shot straight draw.
Well, I stand corrected again. King-jack off is in good shape.
3,500 from Jason Alexander.
Are dermatologists always this serious?
He called with middle pair. Ace-queen, folds. Heads up to the turn. Another jack. Alexander gets the check mark with trip jacks. Jason immediately puts out 10,000.
I don't think this fellow's going to smile anytime soon.
He looks suspiciously at Jason and calls.
The dermatologist is drawn dead.
River card now. 5 of clubs. Alexander checking out his chip stack. But then just puts in 5,000.
5,000 to a pot of 34,000? That's not a value bet. That's a fire sale.
The flush is good. Otherwise, I got trips.
Jason was worried about the flush. Jalali called. And Jason's 3 jacks will win the pot.
So, J.A. beats A.J., even though A.J. was dealing.
Well, J.A. got a little timid at the end, but he has found some momentum. Jason Alexander back up to 80,000 chips. All right, back to the outer tables where Greg Mueller is now tangling with Corey Burbick, who we saw eliminate Mike Matasso. Burbick has moved all in on the river. Mueller needs over 63,000 to call, but he folds top pair.
By the way, Greg Mueller has been getting the same massage, I believe, since the 2006 main event.
I'm not saying.
Why not? I mean, obviously you had me beat.
Burbick says, cards speak, I don't.
Don't cry for Mueller. He still has a huge chip stack, 275,000. To Dewey Tomko, he's in the hand with Jay McClain. River card about to come out. It is an ace. Both players check. McClain shows queens. Dewey Tomko, I guess, is beat. Tomko is well known as one of the best high-stakes golfers in the world, and he recently put those skills to the test against my partner in this edition of Heads Up with Norman Chad.
We're going to putt for 9 holes. So, Dewey, how many strokes are you going to give me?
Make it 7. You got it.
Thank you. You are reasonable. 7 shots. Let's do it. Very nice. Uh-oh. No! You once told us you used to play so much poker. For 15 years, you didn't know who the President of the United States was. Who's the President right now?
Obama.
Okay, that's easy. Who's the Vice President? Wow. You're still busy.
All right, I'm giving that one to you. You got a little trouble on this one, buddy.
Is that a mulligan? So, do you prefer busting Doyle on the golf course or on the poker table?
Any place I can bust Doyle, I enjoy it.
So, what is the key to gambling in golf?
You really got to know what you're capable of shooting, and then you got to be able to do it. Good putt. All right.
We're on the last hole. If I win this hole, I can actually win the bet.
Let's see if it happens first.
Let me go kick your butt on this hole. He missed! Like, it's a miracle. I have a chance to win the hole.
Oh, God. That's fate, just like the World Series of Poker. It's just way of life. You have to deal with it.
My whole life is lipping out, but it was a pleasure to lose to you today, sir.
Same too.
Norman, I am impressed just to have a shot at glory, a mere glimpse of something positive in your life, a peek at the promised land of victory.
Good for you.
Back to table 2. Chris Ferguson taking a back seat over there. Recently, Roland DeWolf keeps battling to stay alive in this main event, facing a re-raise from Steve Gee.
Sorry for taking so long, buddy. I know Chris doesn't have anything better to do, but...
Roland's a very good player, but he's been walking uphill all day.
With pocket 8s, DeWolf facing a raise from Steve Gee holding queens. Now Roland re-raises all in.
I thought you were going to muck or call.
I got the best hand. I hope you fold.
You have the best hand?
But I still hope you fold.
I hope you don't have aces.
I'll show you.
Gee makes the call.
You got 2 8s. I'm sure I had the best. I was sure I had the best hand.
Give me all face cards. All face cards.
Snow.
There's the flop. And there is an 8 for Roland. He's got a set, but a flush draw for Gee.
Roland looks embarrassed by his good fortune.
And Steve is just angry. Turn card is a 7, no help to Gee.
He's got 10s and clubs and queens.
10 club or queen knocks Roland out.
The river card is a 9. Roland wins with a full house. He's coming back.
Roland DeWolf hanging on like K-Fed did to Brittany.
And Steve Gee is one angry poker player. I guess we know who the impish Roland DeWolf won't be needling anytime soon. Inside the Rio, action continues here on day 2 of the main event. Greg Raymer and Jason Alexander have been putting on quite a show at our featured table all day long. Right now, action is on Albert Manolan, sports writer from Moscow, on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky Pocket Cam, ace queen of clubs.
Manolan says he was one of 10 men introduced to the rules of Texas Hold'em 10 years ago by the president of the Russian Poker Federation, and they were the first Hold'em players in Russia.
Manolan raises to 2,500. Raymer with Jack 8 of spades. His chip stack has taken a bit of a hit lately. He calls for 2,500.
I still don't know the rules of Hold'em, but they let me talk about the game. I love America.
A few minutes to learn, a lifetime to talk about. All right, so heads up, Raymer and Manolan.
Now it's time for the sports writer to get the Raymer stare.
4, 9, 10. Raymer picks up an up and down straight draw. Manolan ace high with a nut flush draw. Manolan comes out with 4,500.
45.
Raymer getting just about the right price to call. I don't like chasing straights, though. I always pull a groin muscle.
4,500 is a call from Greg Raymer.
Both players like to cover their mouths for health purposes.
Turn card now. 7 of diamonds. Raymer hits his straight, Jack high.
Raymer's a better athlete than me, Lon. He has chased down that straight.
It was a short run. Manolan checks. Does Raymer want to slow play it? Or does he figure Manolan's going to come along? He bets 10,000.
And now it's Manolan who's not getting a good price here to chase his flush.
Well, he's going to gamble. He makes the call. River card. 10 of spades. Raymer with the check mark. Manolan missed.
And Manolan now just looks like another sports writer in mid-career crisis.
Yeah, he does check now again. Raymer with a made straight, but a hidden straight with that Jack 8. He bets 25,000.
About 2/3 of the pot. You know, I just realized Manolan's got ace queen. Ace queen's always a loser. What's he thinking about?
You're right.
Actually, he's thinking about making a play here. Is he going to come over the top? What's he doing?
He is pausing for some reason, and he makes the call. Raymer shows the straight.
Wow, Manolan missed his flush and thought ace high might be good. He thought Fossilman was making a move. That's why he's a sports writer.
Fossilman back on the uptick. His chip stack to 105,000 now. All right, let's take a look at some of the chip stacks of players we've been following. Mueller with that monster chip stack. And how about actor Brad Garrett hanging in there today? To the outer tables, Gavin Smith is all in, needing help. He's got the nut flush draw, trailing the pocket jacks of Jonathan Tamayo.
Gavin needs an ace, queen, or heart to stick around here at the main event.
The river card is a jack of diamonds. Tamayo will win with jack full and eliminate Gavin Smith.
Gavin's World Series miseries continue.
I gotta go find Brunson.
Todd Brunson is 83% to still be at that bar waiting for him.
All right, let's catch up with Keely Madrid, who's also all in and behind against Carrick Terrell. One card to come, Madrid's pocket queens against the set of 10s for Terrell.
Keely needs a jack or a queen or he's done.
River card is an 8, and Terrell wins it with 10s full. A second round knockout of Keely Madrid.
Yeah, Madrid goes down for the count while standing up.
Terrell from Indiana at his first World Series picks up a nice pot.
I think Elio Lesra was Keely's cut man during a bunch of those hands.
Keely certainly made it lively out there. Let's go back to table 2. Roland DeWolf once again is pushed all in after the flop against Steve Gee again.
Got a flush draw. I know you got a flush draw.
He does not have a flush draw.
That's all you got, right? Flush draw, right?
He does not have a flush draw.
I call. Don't put any hearts out there.
He does not have a flush draw.
Keep them all black.
That's a call. He way behind his pocket 9s against the set of 4s of Roland DeWolf.
I told you he did not have a flush draw.
Gee has a short fuse.
No hearts is okay by me.
2 more hearts.
You said no hearts.
Turn card. No help to Gee.
Swear to doubled up twice on me.
He can only eliminate DeWolf with a 9.
River card's a queen, and DeWolf will double up again through Steve Gee.
I'm like your main sponsor.
Well, Roland DeWolf keeps doubling up, but still doesn't have a lot of chips.
But 33,000 are enough to turn Roland's focus in this main event from survive to thrive.
The 2009 World Series of Poker is presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. And in part by WSOP.com. Get official items for your home poker game at WSOP.com. And PokerStars.net, the world's largest poker site.
Back inside the Rio, action winding down on this day 2 session of the main event. Let's pick up action on Dewey Tomko. He's all in with ace-jack against Maggie Bowe. And unfortunately for Dewey, Bowe made a set of 9s on the flop, which will end the hand and Dewey's main event.
Well, Dewey can play with the best of them, indoors or outdoors. But as you said, his main event is over. Dewey's got a couple of million in World Series earnings and a lot more than that in golf earnings.
All right, let's check in on Brad Garrett, who's in a hand with Peter Kremenliov. After the turn card, Garrett has checked the turn.
You're going to be an amazing player. You're going to wake up one day, you're going to drop, and you're going to be amazing. We're old. You got to, I mean, look at us. It's like the Thriller.
Let's stand up.
Yeah, I love that. He stood up. Call the doctor. Okay, now what are you going to do?
Did you check?
I checked. No, you're going to lose your fun. You're going to lose your fun.
Kremenliov bets 10,000.
I can't fold.
Actually, Brad's got enough chips left to fold here.
He makes the call. Brad checks the 4 on the river.
He probably has a 2-5.
Kremenliov bet enough to put Brad all in.
It's going to be a big suck out. Did you? Oh, God, I got to sit down. God bless you for standing. You meant the world to me. I didn't think I'd get you up there. God love you.
Yeah, Barry Johnston standing there was like a lunar eclipse.
All right. I got it.
Brad calls all in.
Got it.
And Brad will lose. Kremenliov flop queens up to just a pair of queens for Brad Garrett.
Done and fun. Give him a hand. Give him a hand.
Brad Garrett is more upbeat when he loses than, say, Phil Hellmuth.
Brad Garrett was a lot of fun while he lasted. Kremenliov is officially the 2009 main event killjoy. So no day 3 for Brad Garrett, but at our feature table, Jason Alexander in good shape to make it to day 3 for the first time. Jason looks down at his hand. King, queen, offsuit.
Jason says he wouldn't be upset if Brad Garrett outlasted him because, quote, I have more talent, I'm better looking, my life has gone better, and I have more money than him.
A raise to 3,000 from Jason Alexander.
Could I really have the last hand of the night? Would it hurt everyone?
I'm just going to give it to you for that reason.
Please.
He's whining.
Jackie, don't give me a hard time. Thank you. Albert, enough with you already. Had enough of you people. I want one hand before I go.
Albert, fold.
Jonathan, I'll slap you around, man.
Folded to Greg in the big blind.
Raymer. Raymer. Oh, Raymer.
Jack 80 calls.
I agree, Jason.
For God's sake,
Why is he
man.
messing around with you with Jack 8 off from the big blind? Tell him you're mad as hell and you're not going to take it anymore.
AJ, do something right, would you?
All right, here's the flop. Heads up. Raymer and Alexander. And that's good for Jason, a queen.
Let's see what Raymer does now after whiffing.
He checks.
Attack, Jason. Attack. Attack.
4,000, Raymer.
You win.
Thank you.
And Jason Alexander does take the last pot of the night.
Hey, gang. Really lovely.
Good luck, everybody.
Nice to play with you.
Remember, final table.
But dreams of the final table ended for several today. Elio Lesra joined table-mate Keely Madrid and other pros on the rails. But others lived to play another day.
Last Brunson standing again.
Including Eric Seidel, Vitaly Lukin, Joe Seebach, and Greg Mueller. And the Viking hat worked well for Roland DeWolf as he moves along, as do past champs Chris Ferguson and Greg Raymer.
I'm a genius.
And Jason Alexander will indeed get to see his first day 3.
Victory.
Next time, it's day 2, part 2.
Thank you and good night.
Until then, for Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. Thanks for watching the World Series of Poker.